Let me show you my countryside through these old headlights. We can take this road as far as you want to go. I'll show you how a country mile can take us all night. Feeling higher than a bull's tail up an old dirt road. I ain't gonna run or hide. We can let the fire burn wild. That's just my countryside.
Yeah, she dropped a big deuce.
Oh, nice.
Can you let them get out? Cause the garden blocks.
Not too much.
Can they eat your flowers? Cause you.
Hey you guys, good morning, welcome back. Yesterday you saw Troy doing the T-post clips, and then we were able to get a section of fence up yesterday with the boys, so that was helpful. And then today we're going to continue on fencing. I have to get some of this weed fabric in the walkways of my garden. I'm really hesitant to grow in weed fabric. I'm sure you guys have probably seen the other videos where I talked about that. At least for now. I mean, I may get desperate enough because there is a point where it's like a tipping point. So it depends on how much food you got to grow, and it depends on your patience level to pull the weeds. And then also if it's a matter between growing food and not growing food for you because you're limited on time and how much you can spend pulling weeds, then I see how it makes sense to do the weed fabric. I also see the drawbacks of the weed fabric and the leaching that can happen, and that going into the soil and that going into your food, because what your food absorbs is what you're eating. So anyways, just all things to consider when considering a weed fabric. Some people don't care, and that's okay. Other people do, and that's okay too. So I am going to do it in the walkway, just to eliminate some time during the weeks when we weed and stuff like that. I weed, and then the boys also have their weeding chores to do as well. So it does take a lot of time, and it's really hot here in North Carolina during the summer, and really wet, humid. So it's really difficult to want to be out here. So that's another thing, is that if I'm gonna garden, it needs to be just a little bit doable, more doable in the garden during the summertime. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get this down. We also have to do the potatoes today. We did pull up 3 rows the other day. I didn't get video of that. I wish I did, but I am gonna get some video today to show you guys pulling that stuff up, pulling the potatoes up. So we will pull those potatoes up and kind of show you what to look for when you're wanting to pull your potatoes, just so you guys have an idea if you choose to grow those, if you've never grown them. So yeah, let's get going. You got them? Okay, so the weed fabric that I got is just a 12-inch, I think it's 300 feet long. I'll link it in the comments below, or in the show notes. I just went down and cut the end of it. I can tell that this isn't going to be a long lasting. It was just kind of a temporary fix for a desperate problem that I have. So this is not top-notch quality. I do, as I'm cutting this, I can see how people burn it. So I may actually end up resorting to that, just because it's gonna end up fraying all into a million pieces here on the end. So you can kind of see how it's already starting to fray there. So I will probably end up resorting to that. I need to get a torch to do that. So right now I'm probably gonna cut, and then I'll come through and do the flame on the end, just to make sure that we don't have any future fraying. So anyways, we're gonna get this second row down. I'm just using the landscape pins probably every like 3 to 4 feet as I'm doing this down the walkways here. That kind of just keeps it from lifting in a lot of the different spots as you go down. So we're gonna go ahead and get the second row done, and then we'll move on to the third and fourth row. Here's my frizzle. So cute. If you guys know what kind of chicken this is for sure, drop it down, let me know, because we are still trying to figure out what all of our oddball chickens are here. So pretty. Okay, so when I'm doing this, I'm just making sure that I have all this pulled back away. You want to make sure that you don't have this mulch in the walkway here when you're doing it, also because you don't want it to cut a hole in the middle of your fabric either. So you do want to make sure you're kind of going through and doing that. Just going to make sure that it's right in the middle of my walkway here. Hi, Chicanos. Hi. How are you? How are you? Hi, Booster. Okay, we need to bring this up here. Okay. Good job. Okay, so now we're going to take 2 of those pins. We're going to come down about right here. Okay. Okay, now see how this is okay. Nice and straight. So go ahead and put those in about right here. Right here. And the same thing here and the same thing on this side.
Is this fine? Is this Benson one fine?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it'll work now. So you do want to go through and pull up the weeds that you see before you lay this down. Otherwise, those weeds will just grow up through the fabric because this is not a like extremely durable fabric. They make ones that are, but this is not. So this is just a cheap version on Amazon, which it's gonna work for the season, but I doubt I'll get much after that. Well, because of the weeds. If they're started already underneath the fabric, then it continues up from the fabric. But it prevents any of the ones that are wanted.
The ones that we have that are not planted?
Yeah. One there and one there.
I think that's going to be enough.
Well, I might space them out a little bit further and then come back through and do them closer. What do you think? Okay. Okay, so we are short landscape pins. I wasn't sure how much my husband had out in the shed. So we're gonna finish this third row and we're gonna do it where they're gonna be spaced about every 6 feet, I wanna say, about 6 feet apart, and then we'll come back through once we have more landscape pins and do every 3 feet and just fill it in there. You're doing so good, Mason. Okay, and I did put out a video talking about how my garden wasn't growing as well out here, and 2 things. Number one, I think it was all the water and rain that we had gotten a while back. Because I have wood chips on the garden, it's beneficial, but when it rains so much like that, it really like soaks the roots of all the plants down there. And I think because the wood chips were on there, it was just keeping that moisture locked in. So we did go through and do some agri-grow, which is like a plant probiotic and really helps to build the strength of the plant. And it helps also feed the foliage of the plant. So we did that and that has helped. I'm now starting to see things grow a lot more. And they say that that takes about 3 weeks, and it's probably been about that. What? Okay, I'll pull it up in a second. So we did do that. And then with the wood chips that we have on here, I think it was just not letting the soil air out as much. And that's the benefit of raised beds. So we do have some of those as well. But now I'm starting to see things really like take shape, and the foliage is starting to get more green and things are really like starting to grow. So just an update on that. Now I will say that I do think that high tunnels are really great for growing because the number one keeps the sun stress off of your plants. Number two keeps the roots of the plants so that they don't get as wet, and just offers a little bit of that like shade, again, the sun stress. So I do think that doing high tunnel growing is amazing for lots of reasons. But again, the cost I think is like the biggest block in that. I mean, at least for us. I mean, some of the nicer ones, that's why we started cheap with like a $200 one off of Amazon. I can put that down in the comments. It's been really great just to kind of test it out. But the cost of the high tunnels are just so expensive. So I would like to eventually have one of those. The end ground offers a lot of benefits as well, especially with clay. You don't have to water as much. And so that's been beneficial for that reason. And when you do add amendments to it, usually the amendments would just kind of go through the soil and you would lose it off of your plants. But because there's clay in there, you're not losing as much, although you still will lose some to other areas within your garden and other plants. So anyways, I'm gonna help him fix this one. And then we're gonna continue on. I'm gonna cut it and call it a day for these 3 rows until I get some more landscape pins. Now we gotta straighten this out. Go down to the end. Good. Those same holes. All right, so let's see. Always good to take note as you're doing things and find out what works best, huh?
Yeah. I got the wrong one, didn't I?
Who's that one?
Brownie.
There's Brownie. Look at those fluffy feather feet.
We all got fluffy feather feet except these black rocks. Frizzle.
Yeah. So typically I would not be letting the chickens in the garden because they're babies. They're still kind of just like poking around, testing things out. And they really, I don't have a lot of like fruits in here yet that they could actually like eat. So for now, while they're in this brooder until they get their coop built and until they get bigger, we're gonna go ahead and just let them kind of free range within this garden fencing here. They can get through the netting, so we gotta kind of watch that. But while we're out here, it's been kind of fun to see them kind of fluttering around and enjoying that, so.
Me? No, I was.
So what we do to prop this up is we kind of just take something, like we've taken those stepping stones with like a log and propped this up. And then this is obviously a water bowl that you can use as well. So, and when it rains, because of that opening up top there, we don't want the food to get wet. We've just been putting like a box and then we put that on top of it to keep the rain from getting in there. Aww, yeah. Okay, so we're also going to be doing some carrots today here and there, just when we can sprinkle it in. So the cat was laying on these the other day and just kind of smashed them all down. So we're going to go through and take the tops and put them in the basket, baby. We want to keep the tops because I dehydrate those and use those in soups and stuff. They're still really beneficial and have lots of great nutrients. You just use it kind of like a seasoning. And then we're going to put all the carrots in that other side over there in the basket. So we do, like, I don't go through and thin my carrots. It's okay, just take all the tops off and then we're going to get the pitchfork and dig them out. I don't go through and thin the carrots. I just go and save like the small ones I'll use as like dog treats or snackers. I'll use the big ones for like canning or carrot fries. There you go. So those would be like little snacker carrots or dog treats. And then all the big carrots I use as like roasting carrots. So I don't go through and thin. It's too much of a time suck to try to do that. If you're selling like market gardening, I can see the need for that, but we are not. So just going through and planting them and not, see, look, like that big one, that will be a canning carrot. Perfect. Good job, buddy. Yep, so we're just going to take all of the carrot tops off. We're going to save those, and then we're going to put the actual carrots on the other side that has a like draining part on that basket, which is really nice. That's made from Friskers, and it has even like a middle compartment on it. And then the other side is not draining, the one that the carrot tops are on. What is that?
It's a hole.
Yeah, I think the ants might have gotten that one, huh?
Too far away.
So the ants have loved this bed. Obviously, you can see the ant hill that we tried to kill. Yeah, we'll keep it. We'll just cut that part off. No biggie. So going back to this, propping it open like that also helps them to just have access to their water. And we especially like to do that when they're being integrated with the bigger hens, because the bigger hens don't get underneath there as easy. It kind of gives them like a hideaway where they can get away if they're getting like chased by one, and just makes it easier. All right, so the babies are finding their way in with the adults,
And they're getting scratched.
and they're like, for the most part, oh, for the most part, they're doing okay. They're obviously still establishing the pecking order. Oh my gosh. Oh, she didn't like that. She's like, I'm out.
You see what she just did?
What happened?
A girl pecked one, and then Oreos chased her away.
Oh, that was nice.
Like now they have their own scratch place.
Look at that.
Oreo likes them.
Oh,
You can get out. Help. Chisonians.
Dory went after.
That was
So here on the potatoes, what we're gonna do, because there is some weeds growing through here, I didn't do a very good job weeding it. It's a potato patch. It's really not a big deal. So we're gonna go through and take all the weeds off of the row, and then we will go through, remove the straw back, and then we'll go through and pull one potato plant at a time. And then we'll grab what's attached to the plant, and then we'll dig with a pitchfork anything that's underneath still in the ground. And then we just have like a little basket here that we put them in, and then we have some other crates that we'll put like separate varieties in, because I do want to weigh them. So I spent, I think it was like 30 pounds, about 30 pounds of potatoes. So I'm hoping that I get way more than 30 pounds of potatoes to kind of see if this way of growing it is gonna work, or if we need to change things up. We're gonna go through and get this one done. We need 3 rows pulled up today to be fully complete with our potatoes. Okay, so yeah, get all those weeds out. Yeah, and then any grasses now. That was just to do the first part. All over there. We're gonna get these 3 rows. Then I'll get the base of the spiny thistles, the 2 that you have there. Yeah. Yep, all the way down. Good. Get all that hair. Okay, so how do you know that your potatoes are ready to be harvested? Number 1, the telltale sign that they're ready is the flowers that will come off onto your potato plants. That's a pretty good indicator that they're ready to be pulled up. The other thing that I look for is like a yellowing or like a browning of the leaves, that like the potato plants are starting to kind of die back, which means that it's at the end of the life cycle. So those 2 things, you can go through and like check them, but if you expose one and it's not done and it's green, you really don't want to eat that one just because of the chemicals that are released within that potato plant. So I try not to do that if at all possible. So I just look for the flowers and the browning / yellowing of those leaves.
Mom, never mind. There's 2 worms. Look. Oh, there's a very big one. I thought that was 2. It's
Yeah,
so
we
big.
want those worms, so don't destroy those.
Okay.
And be careful when you're doing the pitchfork
Yeah,
with
watch
them.
out for that worm. See it? They won't really do anything, but
So the thing that's going to happen here is once we get all of the carrots out of this bed, we'll leave this for them to kind of go through. They'll be able to, number 1, dust bathe in there, and number 2, they'll be able to fertilize with their droppings. So we won't have to fertilize this bed for the next round of carrots that we do in the fall.
No,
It's like sift through it and make it
Look,
even.
Mommy. No, I just ain't green on. He's like, what is that? Do you know how much carrots you pulled?
Okay, so this bed here we're gonna finish up. They started this, what was that, like a week ago? So this has the rainbow blend, which is pretty neat to see. It's got the orange and it has the white and the purple
In the red.
carrots in there. Oh, and the red, yeah. Oh, these are red ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's fun to have different colors, huh?
Yeah.
Look at that one.
Red.
That one's red? Let me see. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like a red Chardonnay kind of color.
Yeah. Look at that little purple, like it looks like a potato.
Look at that. Oh, it's cute. Oh, look at that.
I got all the different
All different sizes, huh?
Yellow, white, orange, and purple.
That's right.
This is what we get sometimes. Some tangled
Oh, look at that.
together things.
That's cool.
Look at, and then you just like.
Intertwine them. Oh, yeah. They're married. So our grapes are doing good. These ones, I thought they were a seedless variety. Oh, I'm so bummed. They're not. But kind of like the muscadines that grow native here. We can probably just kind of mash them down and make like jellies out of them. The chickens really like them. But we have 2 of the grapevines here. And then on the other side of the chickens, there's 2 as well. Those ones are supposed to be seedless also. We have yet to get fruit. This year might be our first year getting fruit off of those. So I'm praying that those ones are truly seedless. So we'll see about that. But I did get these ones. These ones are the Concord. And I put 1 in the middle of each trellis for the grapes. And those ones are for sure seedless.
Hey, Mom, I'm gonna get you all the colors of the rainbow blend that we have.
Okay. You guys like carrots, huh?
Yeah.
It's
I
like
finding them.
a
I
surprise.
ate one when we harvested
It's
them.
better. It's better than opening those like little mystery surprise toys.
Yeah.
You actually like have food.
Yeah, even though I don't like Mr. Surprise ones.
You used to.
I used to, but I don't really.
Wait, these are all the colors of the rainbow blend that we have.
Look at that.
These could be toys that you lose.
They're
We
so
have
pretty.
like the white and the orange and the yellow and the purple and the red.
Isn't that cool?
They're just poopy toys that you lose.
That's right. They're just toys that you lose, huh?
Don't want to say this, like, it's not like bad, but it's probably, I think, is like junk.
It is junk, and there's a lot of like trash paper that comes in the wrapping.
Yeah.
They end up just thrown away. Okay, so we're gonna leave them here to this. I'm gonna make like super excited to see how many of that see if we can fill up that whole basket. You think
Yeah, we
that whole white basket?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my, there's gonna be a lot of carrots, huh?
Done.
All right, guys, got the carrot tops, got the carrots. Potatoes are done. So we are gonna go inside because it is blazing hot out here. So I'm gonna go inside. We're gonna rinse some carrots off and we'll come back out later tonight.